if anyone else is getting killed and their portfolio is red every day, it seems like, and they're just getting hurt and they feel like they're the only one and BNGO is killing them, I want you to know something. You are not the only one. Trust me, you're not the only one getting killed. I mean, look at the portfolio. The markets have actually gone up, or at least the markets have kind of been sideways the last few days and the last few weeks, really. But UVXY has gone down 13%, and this is with me averaging down. So the fear index has gone way down. BNGO has gone way down. I'm getting I'm getting killed. I'm right there with you, my friend. So just right out the gate, no, I'm holding with you. I was red this morning when BNGO went down to 584. My average cost is 591. Got 2,000 shares. You can see the position right there. But in this video, I don't have any news updates for you today, really. So what I want to tell you is why I'm holding and also my plan and why I'm not worried whatsoever. And I know you've been hearing this forever, and it's like, Brandon, the stock just continues to go down. Are you ever going to have a sense of strategically cutting losses? And I've considered, okay, every day that BNGO goes down, every day when I go out and run, I am always contemplating, in the back of my mind, I'm always contemplating whether I'm doing the right thing holding these shares, because this is a lot of what my life has been, these YouTube videos, all these other people following me, or at least, there's not, obviously, make your own decision, please, but yada, yada. A lot of people are looking up to me and what I'm doing, my position. And I always come back to the couple reasons that continue to make me hold and the reasons that justify my holding, in my opinion. And I'm going to detail those for you today. Got like 4 very simple reasons, right? Number 1, the business model of Bionano. Number 2, the fundamentals of the company only getting better. Number 3, the stock price only going down while number 2 is happening. And number 4 is that the Sapphire is a revolutionary technology. If you're in the red right now, you should know, if you were to hold this stock for 5 years or even 1 year or 3 years or 10 years or more than that, whatever, if you're going to hold long term, you should know that the consumable revenue of Bionano is essentially guaranteed to increase year over year and also quarterly, essentially, but year over year for sure. And the reason why this is true is because the Sapphire installed base is only going to increase. And I say that because the people who are buying Sapphire, they are not going to use $150,000 or $500,000 or even higher than that sometimes to invest in a Sapphire and then go get rid of it after 5 months of using it. These guys are using volume consistently, and as more people find out that there are new markets for them that they don't even know that they can use a Sapphire for, like for example the plants, analyzing plant genomes, which is something that we rarely talk about on the channel, but is a huge market and a huge money maker for us. And the business model of Bionanos, it makes this sort of over time, long-term exponential increases in the consumable revenue and total revenue very auspicious. The consumable revenue is only going to increase if you're getting a few sales each quarter. Think of it that way, because as long as a ton of people are not just dumping the Sapphire system, which is highly improbable, even if there are going to be some, the new customers will compensate for that and then some, because the CAGR is very clear. The company's already alluded to 10,000 Sapphires installed, kind of with the graphic we have on their website, and they've also talked about global Sapphire adoption. So let's just assume we're going to get 5,000 Sapphires installed. The consumable revenue is only going to increase, and what this means is it's going to guarantee profitability. It's going to guarantee profitability essentially. That's what you're looking at, man. That's my opinion. Over I don't know if it's going to be 2 to 3 years or 1.5. In bear case, I guess it could be 2024 or 2025, but we will be profitable one day. And when that day happens, you're never going to see the price in the 5s, or for that matter, even below double digits. And that's putting it mildly, in my opinion. Make your own damn opinion. Now, number 2. So the company only getting exponentially better. Now, there are a myriad, seemingly, amount of reasons. There are a very high amount of reasons that I can go over for you for the company exponentially increasing in value. But in this video, I just want to go over some of the more recent ones and some of the more significant recent ones, right? So off the top of my head, first thing I can think of, 3 revenue beats. You've got 3 revenue beats through this downtrend. You heard that correctly. After February 16th, you've had 3 earnings reports throughout this little downtrend, throughout this, a little bit over half, almost 1 year, close to a year. Closer to 1 year than half a year, probably, barely. 3 revenue beats. That's what you've got. Obviously, stock price doesn't really seem to care about revenue as much as the high growth stocks moving with it. And, granted, they're not huge revenue beats, but they're 3 revenue beats. And with the stock that's growing in a high growth stock, that's the biggest thing, the growth and the revenue that you would see. You think that would be very significant. Well, I don't know. You decided. I think they were significant. However, the price didn't react. So that's one exponential. That's one increase in fundamental value since 1569. Number two, the CEO has said we're not going to get another offering, and this video talks about that absolutely perfectly. The takeaways from the CEO's conference. He said they do not expect to be in the market raising financing again, and they have $330 million in cash. There's no reason why they would. With the stock like this, they've already done 2 offerings. One of the biggest bear claims that there is claiming that we're going to get another offering. CEO debunked that. What does the stock do? It goes down the next day. Okay, that's another increase in company value and fundamental and stock value. Right, the company is not the stock. However, at the end of the day, it's a good saying because it makes a lot of sense in most ways that you think about it. However, behind the stock, behind BNGO and Bionano Genomics, there is a company actually working every single weekday. So there comes a point where you have to say, well, the company actually is the company is the stock, in a way, of course. Stock did not react to the offering debunking by our own CEO, of all people, right? Not just a random guy saying it like me or some low employee, but the damn CEO himself. Stock goes down the next day. Another reason, right? We got into one of the largest diagnostic institutions in quarter 2, and we just found out about that news very recently. Actually, if we read this, Sapphire was adopted in Korea, Europe, Africa, and China, including at Medicover in Germany, one of the largest commercial diagnostic companies in Europe, and at New Probe in China, a cutting-edge company developing cancer diagnostic keyword assays. Now, you may be wondering, if you've kept up with the stock or the company, that diagnostic markets, for example, the FSHD market or the ALL or cancer or what have you, these markets are something that we're not currently penetrating by and large for the reason of lack of FDA approval. We are, quote-unquote, research use only. The fact that we're already going towards that, we already are getting adopted in these companies, and we already know about the CLI lab. We already know about the company trying to build LDTs, laboratory developed tests, and trying to get the Medicare coverage and trying to get the reimbursements. Basically, ape language, they're going to reimbursements, which ape language for reimbursements, another way of bypassing FDA approval. You should put the pieces together. It's very simple. We are starting to go, and the team at Bionano, we're starting to go from sales and all of our focus on the research side of things to also going to the diagnostic use of things. And those things, the diagnostic stuff, that's where we really make a lot of money because those guys are high volume. And that's where we literally get into the business of saving, every day, every single diagnosis with Sapphire, saving lives. Not directly like you're going to die if you don't get diagnosed with a Sapphire, but we're talking about like increasing the life quality and life expectancy of these people. Because if you get diagnosed with with a crappy method and it takes way longer to get the results, you just lost weeks or months of your life you just went months without even knowing what you're dealing with. Imagine if you're dealing with something super horrible where you have to eat a certain way and have to change your behavior in your whole life to deal with that. That is life-changing if you can get those results sooner and start working on how to prevent whatever the hell it is, right? That's what you're working with. So the fact that we're getting diagnostic adoption here, the price doesn't give a shit, of course, but that is fantastic news. If that's going to continue and we're going to get diagnostic and diagnostic penetration, these numbers are the bear case. This is not the bull case. This is not the base case. This is like the bear worst case scenario, and we're heading to profitability in not 2024, not profitable in 2024, 2023. That's the target, or even 2022. Hell, okay, easily. Okay, that could easily happen. I would not be surprised whatsoever. And the reason is because the Sapphire is better than all the other diagnostic tools in what it does. Simple as it gets. All right, another reason why we've got better fundamentally. 49 publications on optical genome mapping in quarter 2. That's a great indicator to how the momentum is going. Lineagen's been doing consistently giving us a very nice amount of revenue. And also, imagine if they're going to grow their business. We haven't even been accounting for that. That would be absolutely huge. Paid off $17 million of debt in the quarter. That was why the earnings report, why we gone down on the earnings report. You guys know that we lost $30 million on the quarter. $17 million of that was because of the freaking debt payoff, long-term $17 million debt payoff. And then the other $17 million of that, or around $17 million, let's see the exact number down here. The expenses that we get, the operating expenses, $17.9 million. That was because the headcount, 37 more employees in the quarter, and $1.5 million stock options. That's a one-time fee right there, man. It's very simple. The earnings was good. We went down. So that's another increase in value fundamentally where the stock just goes down. If you want to sell during a time period where the stock is going down, is downtrending, yet the company is just doing amazing things like Bionano has, be my guest, man. You're not going to make if you're an investor like I am that is attempting to beat the market long term in a huge way by picking one or a few companies that are going to do great things and that are going to revolutionize spaces. This is a horrible idea for you to sell right now, man. It's a horrible idea. It's not auspicious. You have a very low likelihood of 10 years from now, or even 1 year from now, or 5 years from now. You get my point. Looking back and saying, I did the right thing. Very low chance of that. I would say essentially, I don't think that you have much of a chance. Let's leave it at that. And also the CLI lab's underway. They're developing laboratory developed tests, the Z codes, right? The reimbursements. Okay, there's a ton of stuff right here. The gross margins increased. All right, I'm not going to go over all of this stuff. How about this? How about this fact right here? How about these two things that we got on the earnings? The gross margins are increase on the quarter, number one, quarter two. And they are expected to increase as well. The company literally projected the gross margins to continue to increase. And why? Larger consumable revenue, man. If that doesn't make you feel good, I don't know what will, man. Modest growth there, right? Modest growth. We've already been blowing out the park. We already got 3 revenue beats in a row. We're continuing to get modest growth from what we're getting right now, or in quarter 2, quarter 1, and quarter 4 of last year. That should get you excited. How about this? 37 more employees in quarter 2 hired, new employees. This will continue. More employees, hiring. This will continue, but not quite at that pace. What that tells me is that the company is hiring a ton of people. Guess what? That is one of the easiest things to look at and be like, this is a growing company. This is a healthy company. I like what these guys are doing. They want to do good things. They're hiring people. If you're getting rid of more people than you are hiring on the quarter, there's a high likelihood that you're not primed for extreme growth. You certainly could be, but when you're hiring a ton of people, that tells me that you need more work to be done. That's why you're hiring these people. More people to work for you, more stuff that's going to get done, more shit that's going to get done. Yes, the expenses may increase temporarily very highly, like we saw last quarter with the $3.5 million or almost $4 million in headcount expenses. Yes, that's going to be a pain in the ass. However, the revenue increases because of it is going to be huge. And that is what I'm most excited about. I want them to get revenue beats. I want them to make $20 million on the year. I will be extremely happy if they can do that. I want them to be profitable in 2023, 2024, not this year. I'm not worried about the expenses this year or next year very much even, really. All right, what I want to see is huge revenue growth, and that's exactly what we've seen. Stock only's gone down. All right, what else do we got? We got great demand metrics here. They said they expect robustness for the consumables. For revenue growth there. That's amazing. We expect continued momentum on the quotes for the CEO on the last earnings report, right? These are just some of the things, man. You've got, there's 1,000 increases in fundamental value on the company that we've had since 1569. 1,000 things. The CLI lab, the nanonozzle evidence, the FDA, the government reimbursement route, bypassing the FDA approval dilemma, Sapphire 2.0 clarification. You've got 3 revenue beats. You've got 226% year-over-year growth. What does the stock do? It goes down. If you want to sell right now, be my guest, but I'm not doing it. You're not going to be able to find me selling here. And number 3 reason is that the stock is only going down, and this one's pretty self-explanatory. I don't know what to say here. Besides 1569, February 16th, now we're at 596. That's where we close today. 596 after 3 revenue beats, after all of the stuff that we just went over. The CLI lab is literally confirmed. The 49 publications in optical genome mapping, diagnostic market penetration there. More study, peer-to-peer reviewed. The peer-reviewed study hit. It was amazing, right? Alex Houston, okay, China, Africa, Europe. All of these places adopting Sapphire. What does the stock do? You know what it does, right? If you want to sell now, be my guest, man. But are you gonna? You look at all the stuff that you're missing here. They said in the earnings they want to make the Sapphire faster, cheaper, more accurate. They did that partly. They made the workflow and experience with the Sapphire better and literally improved the efficiency of the software that you have to use that you get with the Sapphire. When you see the results, right? You have to use the Sapphire every single freaking time. They improve the efficiency. That makes me excited. They do want to make the product as best, the best possible they can for the consumer, man. That is what you want from the company. You want them to do software updates and increase and enable system monitoring and increase the automation level of the Sapphire system. Different sample types. Right, they talked about that in the earnings. They alluded to different sample types coming. That would be huge for us. That would be huge. There's 1,000 things. There's 1,000 things that we've got, all right? And number 4, the Sapphire. This is the most simple thing there is. The Sapphire, feel free. I'm not even going to go through the science with you, right? I'm not a scientist. But what I will say is that to my understanding, through my, I would call it thorough and I would call it meticulous, right? I'm not a damn geneticist. I don't know optical genome mapping like the back of my hand. I don't know. I'm not, this isn't my field. However, I've done a lot of reading. I've done a lot of watching and listening to people who actually know what they're doing, right? Like the chief of the director of scientific affairs at Bionano that did the amazing presentation that really illuminated me what the linearization of the DNA, that whole process, right? I don't know all of it, but I know what he said, and I believe what he said because he backed it up with evidence. And he's the damn, as I said, director of scientific affairs at Bionano. Bionano Sapphire, it does what it does. Its niche, which is greater than 500 base pairs, SV detection, better than anything else in the world. Simple as it gets. If you want to bet against a company getting a lot of sales with that product in a market as big as this as ours is, right? Cytogenetics, research, you got cytogenetics and research, diagnostics, universities, anyone in the world that's using karyotyping, CMA, or fish, right? Because we're better than all those methods at what it does. You're literally losing money if you're not using us. Plants, 1,000 other markets as well you guys name them in the comments. Name all the markets that the Sapphire has in the comments. There's a myriad, man. There's a ton. There's a ton of them. If you want to bet against that company long term, be my guest. But I'm gonna do the precise opposite of you and get my position established while the stock's going down. I'm not betting against that product, especially when they're implementing and commercially releasing the Sapphire 2.0 in 2023 with a 14-fold increase in throughput, and decreasing the cost per genome of $450 to $550 down to $100 by the end of 2023. I'm not betting against that shit. You're a fool to bet against that, man. You're a swine. You're a swindler, man. And with that being said, those are the 4 reasons I'm holding. And for the news for the day, you got a couple new filings today. Nothing huge. Institutional ownership increased again. No one gives a shit, right? 50 million shares by BlackRock yesterday. I get it. It's barely any portfolio allocation. But, hey, it is what it is. We went down today. We closed the day down about 1.5%. It is what it is, man. I'm holding long term. That's my, almost 1.5% down on the day. I'm holding. Here's the portfolio. I'm getting wrecked. I'm getting wrecked, man. I'm barely green on this position. My call's getting obliterated. My UVXY position is getting obliterated as well. And I'm here. I'm still here. I'm still holding it. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about this. I'm not worried, man. And until the company gives me a reason to worry, why would I worry, man? There's no reason to worry. Be thankful if you're healthy. If you've ever had health problems, you understand that worrying about a company that you've hopefully, if you've done your research, you believe in. If you believe in the company and you believe in what I say here, hopefully you've done your own research and believe in what you've done. But if you believe those 4 reasons and agree with me there, you should be adding. You should be wanting to add. You should be enjoying these days, man. That's as simple as it gets. If we see another trip to the 4s or the 550 or lower than 4s, right? Dude, unless something fundamentally changes for the company or there's just no growth or nothing, buy. Buy if you agree with me. And if you're bullish, that's as simple as it gets. That's what you do. You buy low, and then you sell high. Sometimes it doesn't happen like this. Sometimes it takes a little bit more time. And with that being said, if you want to sell out, if you're done with the stock, can't take it anymore, dude, be my guest. Be my guest, man. I'm not betting against a company that's only gotten exponentially better fundamentally. Stock price has only gone down like 70% from all-time highs. That's stupidity in its exemplary form. That's a quintessential example of bullshit right there. And maximizing your losses, in my opinion. Make your own opinion. If the market crash tomorrow, we could all get fucked, right? Although if you have UVXY, you'll be all right. Or buying power, that's why I advise both, or at least one, right? And with that being said, that's pretty much all the news. So thank y'all so much. This is not financial advice. Here's the portfolio. I'm still holding, man. Diamond hands, diamond balls. Diamond hands, diamond balls. That sums it up. Feel free to check out Newsweek. He's our sponsor. Link to his YouTube channel and his website in the description. I will see y'all. This is not financial advice. I will see y'all in the next one.